Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to talk about navigating the funk when inspiration fades and when, to be honest, this is something I'm going through and I have been for a lot of this year. If you have this year, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or I've talked about it here a little bit on the podcast. This year has been rough in so many ways for us. And so it's just, I feel like I've been in a funk. I just feel uninspired. I don't feel creative, having a hard time, finding the joy in the things that, you once loved, even like just going thrifting anymore. It's just so different. And just, I used to go through Target I didn't have to buy a thing, but I used to get inspired walking through Target. This was before the pandemic and before everything changed. But even that is just, I went through Target the other day. I was going for something, and I think I've said this before. It's just like, it is not the same. I think I was going to look for I needed some plain t-shirts, just like things you could, wear underneath something and I didn't find anything and everything. It's just like, this is just so different and it's not the same. Is it just me? What is going on? So I thought today that I would just kind of talk about some of the things that I've been going through, how it's affecting me. I know a lot of us are going through this. I know a lot of us have had bad years or bad seasons or bad months and what I'm going through doesn't even compare to what some people are having to deal with and go through. So, everybody has their own thing and it's just sometimes it's just not fun. So navigating the funk is something I've been trying to do this whole year, and it needs to start with recognizing the funk. And so for a while, I'm just like, am I just tired? And when I say this year hasn't been bad, I don't want to be, I'm an open book. This year has been bad for so many things. Matt had a knee replacement surgery that wasn't planned. We didn't see coming. That has taken, even as I'm recording this, we're into month 5. It's still not 100% better. We started off the year in the middle of winter. Our furnace broke down. And then it's just like things just started. I can't even remember now everything we've had to replace. Was it the washer? We had to get 4 of our cars have needed, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars of something, whatever it is. Just like, there's just like all of these things just keep piling up. Literally, it's like a new week starts and I'm like, wait, what? Please, nothing. And my mom used to always say, these things happen in 3s. And I think we've got to like our 7th or 8th hit. And I'm like, okay, listen, I don't know what we're in, but this needs to stop. We've looked at numerous houses. We would really like to find another investment property. And just everyone we've gone through, none of that has panned out. We have put in offers. One really stings. It still stings. So that one was just, anyway, so we've put in offers and, we're just too far apart and it's just been, this year has just been a lot. Matt and I keep saying 2024. Gabrielle graduated high school. And then, just going through some decisions that she was trying to make about college. And Landon did the same thing. And it was just, your kids, you can see your kids making decisions that you're just like, well, and our kids are, I'm telling you, we have great kids. But it's just like decisions about their schooling and the reasons why they wanted to, it was just like, okay, let's step back a minute and let's put things into perspective. And it's so funny because Matt and I were like, what is this? Landon did the same thing. But then in the end, we learned with Landon, as parents, we have to step back, right? You see it happening or like, you're like, no, that's not the right decision or, don't think of that, think of this or, and so with Gabrielle, I feel like we stepped back more and it was it's just, I don't know. It's just so great to see like we are not in control of any of this. And then to see it all unfold exactly how it should go. it just always amazes me. And it's something that I need to let go of, like, control, not even just, it's like the reason I don't like to fly in airplanes. I have no control. Like, I'm just sitting there and just, what if something happens, or there's just no control. And it's funny because you learn about I'm going on a side tangent. Sorry. But, that is something, patience and control are something that I struggle with all the time. In control it's just like those situations. I am very anxious in situations that I can't control, or my dad's health. That's another thing that has really hit me, because for years, since I've known Matt, and then over the last like 12 years, 10 years, I'm the one in the family that would go, say the things that needed to be said. And I've even asked him to move in with us so I could help him with his eating and his moving and his, and it was no. And you knew what was going to happen. And here we are now. And his health is, he's pretty much has dementia. He sits in a recliner all day. He used to do that a lot anyway, but it's just those things that I can't control. And then here we are. And it's just, anyway, you find out that those things that you deal with, they do come from your childhood. And it's so funny because I know now why I deal with that. And I'm not going to go into any of that, but my childhood was good. It's just there were certain things in my childhood that were a little bit stressful. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is why I always clean and I love to organize and I love to put things where they are, because I can control that. And so even when I was younger, living with my parents and my younger sister, my older sister had moved out. And so I got the upstairs small house. It was like the attic bedroom, if that makes sense. And so I got that full upstairs and it was so exciting. But my child, I would go up there and organize and reorganize things over and over again. And to be completely honest, I love to clean and I love to organize. Like it's also an issue and a problem, but that's why I can control that. So some people will say, I've seen a lot of memes and a lot of things when you are, full of anxiety and you're stressed out or whatever, what do you do? And a lot of people will say, I work out. Some people will say I eat. To me, it's cleaning. Like, what can I clean? Let me just start scrubbing the kitchen. Like it's so funny. It's cleaning. So it's like cleaning, organizing, because I know that's something that I can control, what's going on around me or what's making me anxious or it's stressful or whatever I can't control. So let me go to something that I can control. So it's something that I learned a couple years ago, and it just totally makes sense when you're like, wait a minute. When you couldn't control certain things when you were younger, like this is, so it's something like I said, I struggle with patience and I struggle with control. But the reason is some of these stressful situations, all of that's part of this funk. I can't control a lot that has happened to us in 2024, our entire 2024 and what's gone on. It's all out of my control. And so it has really put me in a funk just in a lot of ways. And so I just thought, you know what, somebody else might be able to resonate with this. And me talking about it makes me feel better. Recognizing the funk is like the first step of, okay, this is a funk. Like this is really, I'm going through this. I don't feel inspired. I'm not really feeling creative. I don't really want to go thrifting. Like that is just something I always loved. Now, times have changed, right? For everybody and in so many ways. Prices are up. Thrifting's not the same because prices are up. It's just, you have a ton of resellers out there that are, like this is their full-time job. Like it's a cutthroat for you to find something in a thrift store. The price is going to be 10 times what it was, or it's already going to be gone and gone through because so many people are doing that, which is great. That's fine. It's just different. Walking through even like Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Target, those kind of stores that I used to just be able to walk through. And it was like it was just enjoyable. I guess that's the word I'm trying to look for. It was just something that it was like, I've got an hour. Let me just go walk through. And I would, on Instagram, I'd take you through and say, okay, buy this, but this, you could totally make it home. Like that was my favorite thing. And it's one of the reasons why I love going through stores like that, because I get inspired to make things that I know I can make for a lot less. But sometimes, I'm not even going to say sometimes, every time I'm in one of those stores anymore, I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't need anything. It's all the same stuff. Nothing's really here. It's like I have this total Like I don't know what it is. It's like this is the conversation I'm having in my head, unless I have to go for something specific. Let me just tell you all this, and I've shared this if you follow me on any channel. I don't know if I should share this because I don't want everybody around me to go in and get them, but I am 100% obsessed. And I was talking to Matt the other day. I am obsessed with Foster's pickled vegetables. I said to Matt, what is something you could legitimately eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks in between? For me, it's those vegetables, those olives, something like that. And he's like, I don't know. His thing is always pizza. He loves ice cream. And he's like, but I don't think I could eat them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Those things, I could eat them. Well, forever, they were so hard to find. They're at Costco, which we don't have one very close to us, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods. So I have been frequenting those a little bit more, but I just go back to that section to see if they have any in. We have not had a ton in, but if you are at any of your stores and you see them, grab a jar, and maybe you shouldn't, because it is an obsession. It is, I am hooked to them, and it's not a bad thing to be hooked to, but it's just, oh my goodness. So anyway, so even when I'm going in for those, I used to go up and down every aisle and I would look through the clearance, and anymore it's like, I just don't even want to. We have been looking for some furniture pieces. And so I do go in there to look for that too, but it's like furniture, nope, nothing, and out. That's just how it's been. Also with not with what I do, but this has been a thing that I used to really struggle with, was perfection. I wanted everything to be perfect, the house to be perfect, all of, just again, because I could control that, right? As a creative person, you just feel like you feel like you should always be on. You should always have ideas. You should always have, and a lot of times still, like when I go to, I should say that, but I just haven't really found a bunch of good stuff. But if I'm at a thrift store or yard sale or something and I see something, I can say, oh, we could make that into this, or this would be great for that, or that furniture piece needs a makeover. I know what I would do. But I've just been feeling like I just don't have anything new, right? Like I need to have that next great idea. But I haven't felt it. I haven't felt creative or inspired. But here's another thing that I have learned and I have never still done. I need to give myself permission to have days off. And when I say, for me, days off, weeks off, I need to walk away from everything. And when I say that, I need to go and do the things that I fully enjoy. One thing I will tell you that since I've been doing this, my creative days and all of this, one thing I have learned over the years, my best ideas never come from behind this desk. When I'm sitting at this desk, my best ideas do not come. It's so funny because my best ideas come when I'm, let's say I'm picking up dinner or something, or I am driving in the car over to my mom's house, or I'm like just walking the dog, like just randomly, and I will come up with an idea. Laying down to go to bed, sometimes it's like, I just need a notebook next to my bed. That is when I get an idea, a creative idea, or I'll email myself, try this, do this, whatever. And so why am I not giving myself permission to go do those things or to just turn it off? Like today, I'm not gonna even open my email. I'm not gonna say I have to come up with a new idea or a new video idea or a new podcast idea, like nothing. I'm just gonna go about my day. I'm going to have a day off. So whatever that would look like, I'm going to go do this in the morning and this, you know what I mean? Like I literally have never done that since starting this. Even when we go on vacation, I take a laptop with me and my phone, and I really need to stop doing that because I just never have that full day off. Even on the weekends, I not come down to my computer, but I'm still, Matt's home. So then if I get an idea, it's like, wait a minute, we could do this project, or we could get it set up so that I can finish it this week. But it's literally, I need to give myself permission that no, you can't even do that. If you have an idea and you need Matt's help, you're going to have to do that next week because today or this week or whatever, you have off. You're taking this whole weekend off. So give yourself that break. Give yourself that break from perfection too. Like you don't always have to have the new ideas. You don't always have to come up with something new, something creative, something it's okay. Give yourself that break. Relieve the pressure from yourself. So one of the things, like I was saying, even thrifting anymore, it's just has not been enjoyable for me this year. Yard sales are a lot more fun for me, but they're getting harder and harder for me to find. People don't, since the pandemic, people don't advertise for them the same way. And so I don't find them. So whenever there's like a citywide or a townwide sale, I'm all about that. Like I want to go to them, and the kids will now come with me. Our nephew loves to go. My sister, I met her a few times. That is actually still enjoyable to me, but there's just, a thrift store you can go every day. So the yard sales and, citywide or church sales, I love those. Those are still fun to me. They're just not as often or as many. When I go into a thrift store, it's just like, I'm just going through the motion. If I happen to find something where the price is reasonable, great. But, anymore, there's a lot of times that I'm walking out of there with nothing. And I find myself even coming up with excuses sometimes, or just being really strict and really selective on what I'm bringing home. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay. And I think that is because of the prices, because you'll find something and I'm like, I know I can get that cheaper, such and such, or I can get it at the same price, brand new. That has totally changed. Now I need to rediscover like the joy and the inspiration, but I'm just starting to take those small steps to kind of bring it back. So again, for me, and I say for anybody that's creative, and even I teach this, sometimes when you're decorating a room, sometimes when you have, let's say it's a dresser you want to make over, or you're going to start organizing like this, these are the things that my creative days was built on, right? And I always tell people, step away from the thing, step away from the room you want to redecorate. Step away from the furniture piece that you're like, I don't even know what I want to do. Step away from the massive closet you want to organize. Step away from it. And I'm trying to do more about that. When the kids, when they're not in school and they ask me to hang out, Mom, do you want to go thrifting? Mom, do you want to grab lunch? Mom, do you want to run to whatever with me? Yes, yes, yes. Like I need to, step away from it, because that's going to help me out. And so if you can step away from the thing, whatever it is that you're, feeling a little about, and just not like what it used to be, step away from it. And so for me, like taking a break from thrifting, not going to my same stores. So what I want to really do is I really want to start traveling to different places. I think that would help. And but not far. It doesn't have to be far, but if I'm thrifting in a different place, if you could drive a half an hour or an hour to a totally different town or city, and go thrifting in those places, like that, I know would revive me a little bit. Just the same old stores in your same where you live. Try something new. And if you could, venture out, maybe make a weekend over about it. Matt and I, we have some free hotel rooms, and it's like, let's just go for some weekends. Like I said, 2024 has not been very conducive for doing that with everything we've had going on. His knee has been a nightmare, all of that. But I'm thinking, hey, when the kids get back into school here and, maybe we can take a longer weekend or leave on a Friday, even come back on a Saturday and just go somewhere else. He actually would, we always talk. We are big dreamers, and we are big, like, put it out there. And so we talk about a lot of things, and we love looking at the converted vans or the small RVs and just getting in one of those and, traveling across the country or to different spots and like thrift. I've said this before, and I still would love to do this. Traveling across the US and finding the best thrift stores, or just thrifting and showing you everything that I'm finding. Like today I'm in Georgia and I'm going to the Goodwill here. Let's see what we can find here. I think that would be so much fun for me. And I could curate a whole thing, bring it back. Then by then we'd have an investment property, and I could style the whole thing with what I had found on my, our adventures. We talk about that. But like that, I know would just, revive me a little bit with just being in new areas. One of my favorite things to do when we go on our summer trips, we love going to their little, like, thrift shops kind of, but they have other, like, I shared it on YouTube. We found this side of the road place. It was amazing. I only got one picture there, but it was just amazing to walk through. And I just felt like, okay, like it just kind of, it was in a new place. We didn't know about it. We were driving somewhere and we found it on the side of the road. There was an estate sale there that I found some amazing things, and, yard sales when I'm traveling, like those will get you into kind of into the thrifting mood, and the thrifting get you out of the slump a little bit. So if you can just take a break from where you're normally going, from what you're normally doing. So even like the projects, I've had, as I'm recording this, I've had a piece in the garage and I just haven't been inspired to work on it. And I always have other things I need to be working on. So just taking a break, like, okay, I'm not going to get that project done for a while. That's okay. Like don't stress out about it. It'll get done when it needs to get done. Just finding inspiration outside of your normal routine, route, house, your spaces, like just getting out of your normal environment. It just resets your perspective a little bit. And it does help me a lot. So yeah, I just thought I would share, if you're in a funk too, 2024. And I just thought, you know what, if I just talk about this, earlier this year, it was really hard to come up with podcast episodes because I felt like I've already done that one, or I did this one kind of, but I know there are new people coming to the podcast, all the time. And I just feel a little bit more, I don't know, what do I want to say? Revived to do podcast episodes. And when you guys send in your questions or your thoughts or your whatever, and I can answer them on the podcast, they are my favorite podcasts to record. So please keep those coming. Like I said, I've done a lot of those, and they are my absolute favorite because I love to chit chat with you about things that you're actually asking me about, because I know it's something, you would like help on, or, you would like to hear about. So definitely keep those coming. Email me at Lindsay@mycreativedays.com. Reach out to me on Instagram @mycreativedays. I never share your information or your name. It just helps me to know what kind of content you are looking for. So if you are going through this, or if this resonates with you, I would love to hear from you. Again, you can reach out to me either way. Share this podcast with anybody that's going through the same thing. Sometimes I feel like when you're going through a funk or a whatever, just hearing somebody else that's going through it too, you just feel a little bit more normal, or just a little bit more like, oh, okay. So, it's not just me, and things are a little different, and this year has not been great for everybody. So, yeah. So until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so, so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.